Hey guys, Dratta here, with a character build in Greedfall. So, as you guys know, I had just done my Let's Play, and I figured I'd bring you guys this overpowered build in Greedfall. So, note that this is my personal opinion, and whether or not you agree with it, you know, leave it down in the comments below, but I have found this exact build to be almost too broken as far as what it's capable of. So we're going to go through a couple things. One is skills and then weapon and stuff. Note that I have yet to get to the final part of the game, but I also don't have all the legendaries. And as far as legendaries, well, we'll talk about that in the actual build. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's start off with the skills. Okay, so first off, to start this off, let's talk about the skills that kind of are what you're going to need to be overpowered. Obviously, one-handed blades you're going to need, and you're going to need to max out this tree. All the way up to long blades, into Fury, and so on. So Fury, the reason why we need to do this is Fury gives us increase in attack speed and combo speed. Then it also gives us, at max, Fury restores health and armor. So this will help keep you alive when you're attacking and when you activate it. Alright, with that whole section there done, note that you need long blades and one-handed blades. Next up, we're going to need this skill here, magic healing. Now, the reason for this is so you can, at any point, use your MP to basically heal yourself. Now, as you can see, I haven't maxed it out, which is why this is more of a late-game build. But yes, you will. I eventually am planning to have this maxed out because basically, once again, it allows me to heal myself on top of armor. Okay, with that out of the way, all you need to do is raise firearms to basically actually only up to here. You don't even need to take rifle because honestly, I've found that rifles generally, well, for this build, rifles won't be all that effective. Next up, we want to dump into Divine Magic Ring. Now, the only reason we're doing this is so we can have a direct path to Shadow Burst. Shadow Burst allows us to basically deal knockback damage and basically deal damage in an area. Now, normally I'm sure a lot of you are going to be like, oh, but take stasis, Dratta, take stasis. Well, I haven't exactly dumped into stasis yet, and as much as I like to say, hey, take stasis, I've found that Shadow Burst does a lot of damage, but really I'm just looking for that knockback to give me some breathing space. And really, I was actually just trying to dump a little bit into magic, so if I can use magic rings, so forth. Anyways, the main core of the build is definitely to allow us to restore our armor and health. Okay, next is attributes. Now, there's a reason that I'm going to go over this real quick. And basically, you do not need to raise your accuracy past level 3. There is no benefit whatsoever to raising your accuracy past level 3. It really makes no sense because so far as I found, level 3 firearms decimate everything in the game. Next, we'll want to up our endurance to level 3. Note that I'm not saying these in the order in which to max them out. So basically what you want to do is, if you're working towards this build, note that you need to be at least my level, which is 35 for this build to work. That's why it's a late game OP build. So what we want to do is raise our accuracy to 3. There is no reason to go beyond that. Endurance, also, raise it to level 3. There is no point to upgrading past that point. Next, we want to raise our agility to 4, but there's no reason to go to 5. So once you have that maxed out, really, it's up to you where to put the other points. Like, I'm putting it into mental power because I'm testing around with magic. Next up, talents. Okay, so this is key here. I have found that once you get Kurt to give you Craftsman, that's why I keep him on me at all times as a party member. But really, you just need 1 point in craftsmanship, because you're gonna have, you can get these gloves that give craftsmanship +1, and then you have Kurt, so you always will have max craftsmanship as long as you have 1 point in craftsmanship. Note, you will need all 3 levels of craftsmanship for this build to work. Next, you want to max out your intuition. You want to make sure you have max intuition, and then also max vigor, and 2 points in lockpicking. You will never need a 3rd lockpicking point for this build. Okay, with that out of the way, the skills, attributes, and talents, let's talk about the actual gear. Now, because I do not have willpower, really, you just need any neck. It doesn't really matter the neck you use, because I've read through them all, and honestly, I'd like to max out my willpower to have better necks, but it's not really necessary by this point in the game. Next, you need any cape will do. It gives you charisma +1, so that's great. Okay, so this is where things get a little bit more simple. So I'm using right now a straight blade. Now note, it can be any blade whatsoever. In all reality, you can use any sword as long as it is not a legendary. And this is why. If I go to my stash here and I look at, say, this one-handed light flamberge, it has a base physical damage with 2 upgrade slots of 264. Keep in mind that 264 is by far one of the lower base damages of the game. If we look at the straight blade, since 333 is its base physical damage, that is significantly higher than this legendary. And same with the scimitar. The scimitar doesn't come anywhere close. So in this game, legendaries are completely useless. I'm just going to put it out there right now. This build does not require you to go and locate legendaries. Even if I was to use this broadsword of the deceased king, I can get a better weapon, because this sword requires agility 5 and it has no upgrade slots. So really, it is absolutely pointless. Now, once you have your crafting at 3, you're going to want to craft. So what you want to do is, the first thing you need to do, your primary weapon is going to be a one-handed blade. Whether it be a straight saber or the naval captain's saber. Doesn't matter, as long as it's a one-handed sword with as high enough damage as possible. What you want to do is you want to come in here into crafting and say, okay, I want all the armor damage possible. So, like, you want to take the Grand Steel Ring, which gives you 30 armor damage. And then you want to say, okay, I want the Brass Shell Guard for 30 armor damage. So what you're going to use your straight sword for is this blade is going to be used to take out your opponent's armor as quickly as possible. Once you have that, then what you're going to want to do is look at your... give me a sec. So the next thing you want to do is get like a long sword, claymore or whatever, and basically stack it with as much damage output as you possibly can. So in here, you want to go ahead and look at your claymore, and then you want to say, now this is why you need long blades. You stack the physical damage 60. This will be your damage dealer. And when you do this, basically you're going to drain their armor with as quick as possible with the one-handed sword. And then you dish out the remaining damage And as you can see, this already does more damage than the desecrated deceased king legendary. Alright? So once you have that done, next up is your gun. Now, as much as a lot of people, like, I don't have the legendary rifle or pistol yet, but what I've seen stat-wise, this is just better, and this is why you only need accuracy 3. Get yourself an engraved 4-barrel pistol and equip it with just sheer physical damage and fury gen. You don't need anything that fires more than this, because this pistol does 533 damage and 28 armor damage. 4 shots of this means that you are dealing roughly 2,000 damage. If you fire in rapid succession, you're going to deal 2,000 damage easy with just a gun. So, hands down, you don't really need anything more. And there is, meanwhile, if you're using a rifle, like if I look at a actual ancient blunderbuss, right? This is just an example. See how it requires rifle and it does 289 damage? And it has 1 shot. Meaning after every shot, I have to reload. Which means that you're not dealing damage fast enough. The engraved 4-barreled pistol, I can fire it 4 shots in rapid succession, dishing out 2,000 damage right quick, and then just saying, okay, that's the end of the fight. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the actual armor. Now, I know I'm going through a lot of this really quick, but bear with me here. So, the next thing you want to do in armor is you want to have the engraved plate, chest, gorget, or whatever this one is, 24 armor, 12 balance, and that is for the breastplate. For shoulders, you want to go ahead and equip the 30 and 6%. Then, for your strap, you want needed for thieves. This will fill out the rest of your lockpicking. Now, I know that if you're going for a more science build, you could do that, but I find that when you're dishing out this much damage so quickly, it doesn't really matter as much. So, basically, this gives you your max lockpicking so you can open up all those goodie chests and stuff. And then for your gauntlets, you want to make sure that you're giving it maximum armor. So as long as you're giving everything maximum armor, as you can see here, the only difference is for the legs, I use two-toned greaves, which doesn't give out as much armor, but it does give me balance. And as you can see, this requires endurance 2. My hands require an endurance 3. And this is why you want to max out as much your 3 endurance. There is nothing in this game, really, that is worth endurance 5. Honestly, getting anything to 5 is completely pointless. Like my straight saber, which is hands down better than any legendary, gives me agility 3. I just need agility 3 for it. The claymore only requires an agility 4. And the only reason I went to agility 4 is just to have slightly more damage. And honestly, anything past endurance 4 is just repetitive. So basically the way this works, let me show you real quick. Now, mind you, even though I am playing on the easiest difficulty, I'm going to show you why this build works so well. So basically all I have to do is, even though I'm on easy, this should work on any difficulty, because by this point you should be nearly indestructible. You see this armor? I'm going to hit him once and his armor's gone. And this basically makes you indestructible. Even if I am on easy, I would take damage, but because my armor is so high, it's impossible. So it's just, As you can see, that fight on easy took literally 2 seconds. And that is because at this point, the armor rating and everything is beyond normal. At this point in the game, you shouldn't have any problems, and because of the way the build works, it practically makes you immune to damage, and even if you take damage, you're not going to be damaged for long. So, honestly, this is probably the best overall build. Now, I want to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think the overall build is. You know, oh, one more thing too, before I forget, is for hats, always make sure you have loot chance. Just because, you know, you have the chance to get bullets and stuff to restore that. So, yeah. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up on the build. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And, yeah, so basically, that's what I found to be the most overpowered build in Greedfall right now. So, just, you know, if you liked, you know, the video, please like it, please share, and subscribe if you want to subscribe. Otherwise, guys, this is Dratta Arcana, and if you guys are looking to contact me, you can contact me via dratta.arcana@gmail.com, or go to my Facebook page at Dratta Arcana Gaming on Facebook. And as always, guys, I now have a community Discord. Please join us there, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everyone.